Watching this arc felt like being in an actual war. I am tired. I'm gonna need some therapy when we're done here. Today in my Naruto review series, I'm gonna be covering episodes 243, 289 of Shippuden. I'm gonna say it right up front. This batch of episodes was a bit of a mixed bag for me. That just means that there's some good and some bad. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the good. And we'll begin by talking about, we found out my favorite thing that happened in this group of episodes is we finally get Naruto meeting his mother. And I gotta admit, the emotional embrace that they had of each other was so good. I think right now is the perfect time for Naruto to meet Kuchina. She had a lot of the two of them have a lot of similarities. She was also a bit of an outcast when she was growing up because of the way she looks and the fact that she was then made into a Jinchuriki. And then we got to see all the details surrounding Naruto's birth. We got to see Naruto in action. We got to see the unleashing of the Nine Tails. And of course, Toby's role in all of this. Which then ends in the tragic deaths of Minato and Kushina, where they both sacrificed themselves, hoping that they could give Naruto the tools he may need one day to save everybody. And on that note, my second favorite scene is the fight between Konan and Toby. You got Toby over here. He's looking to recover the Rinnegan that is currently on Nagato's corpse. Konan, she ain't having that. Now, I've actually given Konan a little bit of a hard time. I feel like she hasn't really done a whole lot on her own. It's normally been pain. It's kind of taken the focus away from her. But man, she does not hold back at all against Toby. She shows that she's actually quite an intelligent ninja and actually almost manages to defeat the man. But unfortunately, Toby, he's got some of that like plot armor or something. I don't know. The fact he managed to survive all those paper bombs is pretty wild to me. R.I.P. the Konan. You put up a great showing. I love you for it. And then the last scene that I really enjoyed was Gaara making the speech to the newly formed Shinobi Alliance, convincing them to kind of put aside their differences so that they can just focus on a battle. Now, I will admit, it's a little unrealistic for all of these nations that have been at war for years and years to just like, just drop everything and be like, all right, cool. But it still made me very happy to see that Gaara was able to inspire a change in a lot of soldiers. Despite him being the youngest of the Kage currently, he already has quite a bit of experience working with shinobi from other villages and combining their talents with his own in order to make formidable teams. And despite the fact that like Shippuden opens up with a Gaara-centric rescue mission, I feel like he's been pretty underutilized throughout most of Shippuden so far. So the fact that he's getting more of a spotlight and more of a chance to shine makes me a very happy camper. Okay, but that's enough of that. I did say there was going to be some bad to go with the good. Let's get into the bad. My first qualm isn't necessarily specific to Naruto. It's more of just how I feel in general about war arcs. And it's that a lot of the conflict involves just a bunch of no-name soldiers on one side or the other. They're all fighting for the sake of, preventing the world from being destroyed. And when we blow up the scale of the conflict that big, I just have a hard time really getting emotionally attached to anything that's going on. And then even when we start zooming in a little bit on some of the more specific conflicts, there are some other factors at play that really make me just not care about a lot of what's going on. So like the enemy forces are composed almost entirely of these Zetsu clones. And even when we do get some more unique individuals, they're like zombified versions of characters that we had already dealt with. Which, that revival jutsu, that's a whole can of worms in and of itself. On one hand, there is an opportunity being presented here. If we're bringing back certain characters from the dead, like maybe we could actually go and resolve certain like plot lines or character arcs, or maybe introduce some new matchups that we have not seen before and would be pretty cool to see. But sadly, that is, at least so far, that's not what's been happening. A lot of it's just retreading old ground, a lot of familiar scenes, a lot of stuff like that. And then another example is like we get Kaku and Zabuza back. Now those are the two characters I really enjoyed, but they're brought back just for the sake of having a rematch against Kakashi. And they even like redo the exact same scene with Kakashi like trying to attack Zabuza with the lightning blade, but hits Haku instead. And it's just like, why are we doing this? Like, I feel so disappointed because we could have had these characters come back and at least done a little something different. Like, what if instead of Kakashi fighting Haku in this episode, maybe it's Sakura, right? She was there for the original conflict, but she was sidelined. She wasn't strong enough to be a part of that fight. Well, she's stronger now. What if she actually got in the mix and kind of went toe to toe with Haku? Or since we've already talked about Zabuza, why not have like someone like Suigetsu show up? He's been trying to like claim Zabuza's sword for his own. So what if he had a chance to fight Zabuza and actually fight him and defeat him, and then that way it's like, okay, now you are actually the owner of the Executioner Blade. It's just so far with the execution of this revival jutsu and bringing back characters, it has felt so hollow and unnecessary. Like, it's almost like when Kishimoto was writing these chapters, he's like, okay, I need some fights. Let me look at my toy box. Oh yeah, Haku and Zabuza. All right, yeah. Well, people like Kakashi. Yeah, I'll have him fight Kakashi. Like, it's not just the returning characters where I am feeling very disappointed about. Like, there's also some new characters that come out of nowhere, and it's like, what is going on here? I think the biggest examples of this are Kinkaku and Ginkaku, who are supposed to be these legendary warriors who nearly killed the second Hokage at one point, and then they managed to survive inside the belly of the Nine Tails by like eating its flesh or something, and then escaped with these powers that are very reminiscent of being Jinchurikis. And I'm like 99% sure that they have not been mentioned at all up until this point. And it's like, oh no, like it's those guys. We're so screwed. What are we gonna do against those guys? And it's just like, how have they not been mentioned up until now? It's like, why should I care about these guys showing up now? It feels like they literally just materialize out of thin air. It's such, like I said, I was saying earlier, I just have a hard time caring. So like I'd say most of the battles of this war so far have been meh to just straight up bad. I really wish I could say otherwise, but man, these episodes are just boring. And to make matters worse, like, it'd be one thing if I felt like things were progressing quickly, but that has not been the case also. Like, the pacing is very slow right now. There are certainly a number of flashback episodes. That's one thing. But then, like, spliced in between like, certain scenes, we're also getting lots of flashbacks just to like remind you of who this character is and why they matter, or to fill in some new information about why you're supposed to care about what's going on. And it's like, good lord, we're spending more time in the past than we are in the present actually dealing with the current thing going on. Like, why do I care about the third flashback or whatever of Mifune meeting Hanzo the Salamander? Like, why are we spending time with these characters when they're already established side characters who are they're desperate for more screen time? And we're like going back to like Mifune or Hanzo and trying to give them more time on the screen. It's like we need to shift our priorities a little bit. And amongst all this, I was hoping that Naruto's new training and him unlocking a new transformation would be something I could look forward to, but even that was kind of whatever. Now, like, I did mention him meeting Kushina earlier, and I actually really did like that. and then her helping him to like overpower and overcome the Nine Tails. That stuff was fine, but then like the rest of the time spent on the island, like we got these episodes where Naruto is like running away from an armadillo that loves him. He's trying to like qualm the drama of the other animals, and then other times he's just kind of sitting in that room with Killer Bee and there's not a whole lot going on. I'm just like, man, this is rough. Now thankfully it picked up like right at the end when he finally leaves the island, goes and talks to the Raikage and tries to prove his worth to him. Like that was cool, man. Get at that point. Oh boy. Oh, and one last thing before we start wrapping up. Kabuto. Okay, I have spent enough time ranting about the war. Let's kind of summarize my thoughts real quick. So we have day 1 of the Great Shinobi War. Unfortunately, I mostly negative on a lot of this. It certainly had its good moments here and there, but it spread pretty thin across a large chunk of episodes. So as much as I hate to say this, I do think this has been my least favorite stretch of Naruto so far. When it comes to our tier list, I'm going to go ahead and throw it here at the bottom of the meh tier. It's not completely irredeemable, but I am not wanting to go back and rewatch any of these episodes anytime soon. Alright guys, let me know how you felt about the beginning of the Great Shinobi War. Am I just like being a hater? Is there some stuff I really missed or overlooked? Let me know how you guys are feeling. Am I alone in not really enjoying this? And that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get back to it because things were picking up near the end, and I have a feeling that things are about to start popping off. Until then, bye-bye.